XRP holders must see Swift's latest alliance. A bombshell just dropped that every XRP holder needs to understand. Swift, the Goliath of global finance, has just unveiled a new blockchain alliance with over 30 banking giants. Their goal: instant 24/7 cross-border payments. Imagine if the Postal Service suddenly announced they were creating its own version of email to compete with. Gmail, that's the scale of what we're talking about. The headlines are writing themselves, and you can feel the fear in the air. Many are calling this the final checkmate, the end of the road for Ripple's ambitions. But is it? Is Swift really about to make XRP irrelevant with a single announcement? We're about to break down what's really going on. We'll connect the dots between Swift, its new partners, and the tech they've chosen. And I promise you, it's not the story you're hearing in the mainstream. So stick with me, because what we're about to uncover could completely change how you see the battle between Ripple and Swift. The problem and AMP. The agitation. Let's get right to the news that sent a shockwave through the community. Swift, the backbone of global finance for half a century, just announced it's adding a blockchain-based shared ledger to its core infrastructure. This isn't just another experiment, it's a strategic move. They've teamed up with a powerhouse group of over 30 of the biggest banks. We're talking JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, Santander, and more. Their mission is to build a platform for instant, always-on transactions, directly challenging the core value of digital assets like XRP. The market's reaction was exactly what you'd expect: panic. I've seen the comments and the posts. It's over for XRP. Swift just replaced Ripple. Were we wrong all along? The fear is that this legacy giant, with its network of over 11,500 institutions, has finally woken up and decided to build its own version of what Ripple has been working on for a decade. To make matters worse, Swift didn't choose the XRP ledger. The prototype is being built with Consensus, a major Ethereum development firm. Reports suggest they are experimenting with Linea, an Ethereum Layer 2 solution, which for many felt like a direct snub. The narrative quickly became, Swift is building a walled garden for its banking partners, with no room for an independent asset like XRP. It looks like the bank coin scenario everyone feared is finally here. Has the old guard finally found a way to win? The transition to the real story. Okay, let's all take a breath. It's easy to get swept up in the fear and doubt, but we look deeper here. The story being shouted from the headlines isn't the full picture. First, you have to understand the critical distinction that Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, has been making for years. He recently said that while Swift was once a major competitor, the game has changed. Garlinghouse pointed out that Swift is just now announcing a prototype, while Ripple has been deploying real-world products for years. He even dismissed Swift's announcement as more of a marketing play ahead of their annual Sibos conference than a truly game-changing product launch. He also separates Swift's role into two parts: messaging and liquidity. Think of it this way: Swift is like an email system. It sends instructions between banks like an email saying, "Please send $1 million to this account." But Swift doesn't actually move the money. The money itself moves through a slow, clunky system of correspondent banks, like sending physical cash through the mail with multiple stops along the way. That slow process requires trillions of dollars to be parked in accounts around the world, just waiting. These are the nostro vostro accounts. Ripple, using XRP, was never just about sending a faster email. It was designed to replace the slow, expensive postal service entirely. So, if Swift isn't moving money, what is this new ledger really for? This is where the story takes a turn. The analysis: why this is a catch-up move. The first thing you have to realize is that Swift isn't innovating here. It's reacting. For years, they dismissed blockchain. Now faced with the undeniable efficiency of digital assets, they are being forced to adapt just to survive. This isn't the move of a confident leader. It's the move of an incumbent desperately trying to stay relevant. But here's where it gets really interesting. Swift isn't building a closed proprietary system. They are building for interoperability. Their own announcements state the ledger is designed to connect with existing and emerging networks. This isn't about building a wall, it's about building a bridge. Swift knows it can't build a single superhighway to replace all other roads. Instead, they're building a massive central interchange designed to connect all the different highways, blockchains, together. And how have they explored this in the past? This is the massive twist. In previous experiments, one of Swift's key partners has been Chainlink. Think of Chainlink as a universal translator or a universal toll pass. It's an oracle network that securely connects old-world systems like Swift to the new world of various blockchains. Swift and Chainlink have already proven how banks can use this translator to trigger blockchain transactions from their existing systems. So while this prototype uses consensus, Swift's history proves their real goal is connecting, not conquering. So, Swift's new ledger isn't a competitor that kills other blockchains. It's a piece of infrastructure designed to connect to them. They are building the interchange, but they need cars to drive on it. Those cars are tokenized assets, stablecoins, and CBDCs, many of which could be built on or bridged to the XRP ledger. Now, before we get to the final piece of the puzzle, how this all leads back to XRP, if you're getting value from this deep dive, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button and subscribe with notifications on. We cut through the FUD to bring you the information you won't find anywhere else. And if you want to join our private community for more insights, check out the link in the description. Your support keeps this channel going. The analysis, validation, not replacement. This brings us to the most important point for every XRP holder. Swift's move doesn't replace Ripple. It validates Ripple's entire strategy. For over a decade, Ripple has been building its network, onboarding hundreds of financial institutions and central banks. As Brad Garlinghouse says, competitors can copy the code, but they can't copy the network. Think about it. Swift is now building a system that needs to connect to digital assets to provide instant settlement. What is one of the most established, regulated, and fastest digital assets for payments with deep ties to the very banks Swift is partnering with? It's XRP. Instead of seeing this as Swift choosing one blockchain over another, see it for what it is. The financial system is becoming a network of networks. Swift is effectively building a new, regulated airport for tokenized value to travel through. This airport needs planes. The Ethereum ecosystem is great for building certain types of planes, like those for cargo or specific business functions. But the XRP ledger was purpose-built to be the supersonic jet, designed for one thing: moving passengers, or in this case, money, faster and cheaper than anyone else. This new Swift infrastructure could actually increase the utility of XRP. As banks using Swift look to move value, they will need a bridge asset for liquidity between different currencies and ledgers. XRP is perfectly positioned to be that neutral bridge. Swift is creating a regulated highway for tokenized assets, and XRP is a custom-built Ferrari ready to race on it. This new ledger lowers the barrier for institutions to use digital assets, which could accelerate, not hinder, XRP's adoption. On the right side of history. So when you see the headlines that Swift is launching a blockchain with 30 banking giants, the initial fear is understandable. But when you dig deeper, a different story emerges. This isn't an attack on Ripple. It's a surrender to the technology Ripple pioneered. Swift isn't leading a revolution. It's being forced to evolve just to keep up. Their strategy isn't to build a walled garden, but to create an interoperable bridge to the new world of digital finance, a world where assets like XRP are essential. Imagine Swift just built a new universal power grid for the entire world. They've standardized the outlets, but they don't produce the appliances. XRP is the high-performance appliance, already built, tested, and ready to plug in. This announcement shouldn't make you fearful. It should make you confident. It is a massive signal that the global financial system is finally moving in the direction the XRP community has been betting on for years. The world's largest financial network just admitted the future of finance is on-chain, and that is a massive win. You're on the right side of history. But that's just my analysis. What do you think? Is this a desperate catch-up move by Swift or a real threat to XRP? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.